Ghislaine Maxwell.
Welcome to our annual TED conference.
I'm passionate about it.
Where ideas change everything.
And replaced it with the nanotainer.
So, swag.
Please welcome our first speaker. Just some guy. Hi, I am a thought leader who can do this with my hands. And this is my TED Talk. So, are TED Talks dead now? Yes, according to literally everyone. I think that TED Talks suck. TED Talks are the worst. TED Talks are pretentious. Am I the only one who thinks TED Talks suck and are overrated? TED Talks fucking suck. Go watch TED instead. TED bad. TEDx doesn't even have sex. Oh man, I just signed up for one. And now I'm not excited about it. But how TED Talk die? And more importantly, why TED Talk die? Why did TED Talks go from being seen as the inspiring glue that once held our society together to now being nothing more than a joke?
I'm an itty-bitty baby bopper, and I'm hungry in my tum-tum.
Where all their speakers are tech gurus cosplaying as dollar store Steve Jobs, all to promote the things we hate most. NFTs, crypto, AI. Thanks. You're welcome. Now if I get one more TED Talk in my feed about AI will kill myself. Oh look, a TED Talk about how AI could replace my human mental health therapist. That could be an interesting watch, while I cry myself to sleep. Created in 1984 by Richard Saul Wurman, TED Talks were meant as a single gathering where innovators from all over the technology, entertainment, and design industries could come together. Oh, so that's what it stands for. Wait, that actually makes a lot more sense. That same year, you had the first ever TED Talk held by Nicholas Negroponte, going over his 5 innovative predictions for the future.
And my favorite example is always fingers. Another advantage, of course, of using fingers is you have 10 of them. We never succeeded in using 10 fingers.
Where he accurately predicted things like touchscreens, web interfaces, and service kiosks. 3 things that make it so we never have to experience social anxiety from real-life interaction anymore. Thanks, Nicholas. Then in the 90s and early 2000s, you had iconic speakers like masterful architect Frank Gehry, who designed the Los Angeles Walt Disney Concert Hall. In 2006, Ken Robinson held one of my personal favorite TED Talks, Do Schools Kill Creativity?, in which he foresaw how degrees would become less valuable as more people had access to obtaining them.
According to UNESCO, more people worldwide will be graduating through education than since the beginning of history. More people. And it's the combination of all the things we've talked about, technology and its transformational effect on work, and demography and the huge explosion in population. Suddenly, degrees aren't worth anything.
And that schools should stop stigmatizing people with more artistically creative talents, or not teach singular fixed ways to solve problems even when students come up with their own inventive solutions. Because that just kills creative thinking.
We are educating people out of their creative capacities. Picasso once said this. He said that all children are born artists. The problem is to remain an artist as we grow up.
Which, as a grade A student, I wouldn't have been able to relate with this TED Talk at all. Luckily, I never was a grade A student, and it resonated with me deeply. Then there were also a whole bunch of other people I've honestly never heard of talking about things I don't understand, but will pretend I do to seem more intelligent in this video. Wait, I know this guy. J.J. Abrams? Isn't he the director who pissed off most of the Star Trek community by setting up those generic Star Trek movies with mysterious plot lines and no payoff? And then tried redeeming himself by pissing off most of the Star Wars community, setting up generic Star Wars movies with mysterious plot lines and no payoff?
Where'd you get that?
A good question. For another time.
Which I am totally not still mad about. Well, this is his TED Talk. About how to implement mysterious plotlines into your movies and satisfy the audience with huge payoffs.
And I realized
Oh my god, like mystery boxes are everywhere in what I do.
Okay, so not every TED speaker was as skilled at their craft, but no matter the topic, one thing became clear in these older talks. They genuinely seemed like a selfless initiative by influential people to share something they believed could help humanity in one way or another, without expecting to be paid a gajillion dollars in return for just half an hour of their time.
I need that.
They lived by the words "ideas worth spreading." Unlike their current slogan, "ideas change everything," probably because they realized most of their ideas today aren't really worth spreading. TED stood for truth, curiosity, diversity, no selling, no corporate bullshit, and no bandwagoning, no platforms. That was their literal core philosophy.
And I will promise you right here and now that the core values that make TED special are not going to be interfered with. Truth, curiosity, diversity, no selling, no corporate bullshit, no bandwagoning, no platforms.
Wouldn't it be a shame if, not long after Chris Anderson, owner of the TED conference in this video, said this, a rich pseudo-intellectual Silicon Valley overlord started, I don't know, abusing the Selfless Conference's initiative as a platform for selling corporate bullshit and spreading lies for personal gain? Anyways, completely unrelated, Elon Musk and Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes both had TED Talks. Guess I should talk about those, since both use it to sell corporate bullshit and spread lies for personal gain. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Raycon. Now, I know what you're thinking. Are you going to spread lies for personal gain? No, because my Raycon everyday earbuds are already good enough without having to pitch corporate bullshit, because at just half the price of its competitors, Raycon everyday earbuds still offer their premium features. With their ergonomic design, they sit comfortably in my sensitive ears all day, and because of their active noise cancellation, I always wear them while doing chores, working out, or whenever I need to take a call in a loud environment. No, your mom stinks. Who do you think he's talking to? I'm sorry, what do you say? I was wearing my Raycon everyday earbuds. They come in beautiful colors and a variety of matching protective cases, and if there's anything you don't like about them, they offer a 30-day happiness guarantee return policy, no questions asked. If you go to buyraycon.com/soggy right now, you'll get 20% off the best-selling everyday earbuds. I always appreciate you guys clicking my links because it helps me to keep making videos for you. So go check them out via the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/soggy to get 20% off, and thank you Raycon for sponsoring this video. In 2014, Elizabeth Holmes wanted to share her vision for a better world via TED, emphasizing the need for innovative, accessible and affordable blood testing to discover disease even before symptoms appear and preemptively save lives that way. And on that TED Talk, she had the answer with the nanotainer.
And we've made it possible to eliminate the tubes and tubes of blood that traditionally have to be drawn from an arm and replaced it with the nanotainer.
You see that tiny little gizmo there? Well, with just one drop of blood, it could help detect any disease in your blood. You could spot cancer, diabetes, HIV, influenza, yes, even erectile dysfunction. But I needed advice to tell me that. And also, you wouldn't really be sure if you actually had cancer or diabetes or anything else Theranos diagnosed you with, since the device never worked and would constantly misdiagnose people. And you can imagine, users loved being falsely diagnosed with life-threatening terminal diseases or a miscarriage, even though they were actually having a healthy pregnancy. Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes was found guilty of faking her voice during that TED Talk.
We've made it possible for information to be accessible at the time and place that matters.
To our lab team, and they said, okay, you can do the draw, and so they did this.
Oh, and also lying about her company, its products, committing about $700 million in fraud, and was sentenced to 11 years in prison. She actually tried overturning that sentence just a few weeks ago and got denied. TED ended up deleting this talk, probably because they were ashamed of how they let this pseudo-intellectual billionaire lie on stage about a life-saving product to persuade more investors and potential buyers. They do, however, still feature this 59 million times viewed TED Talk with Elon Musk, where he lies about a life-saving product to persuade more investors and potential buyers.
We're still on track for being able to go cross-country from LA to New York by the end of the year, fully autonomous.
Now, I've been investigating Elon and his lies for the past 4 months, but that's a video for another day and will likely be 5 hours long. However, this TED Talk is a prime example of just how comfortable he is spewing bullshit that might get people killed, all for a little trick in the business they like to call a stock price bump.
It's got autopilot. And you put out this video a while back showing what that technology looked like.
Yeah.
What are we seeing here?
Yeah, so this is using only cameras and a GPS. You can absolutely be superhuman with just cameras. Like you could probably do 10 times better than humans with just cameras.
The video turned out to be a deceptively staged lie. It was exposed in court when Tesla got sued after someone died while self-driving was active. They even edited out a collision?
The car is unlikely to crash in 100 lifetimes or 1,000 lifetimes.
To this day, at least 52 people have directly died from Elon's self-driving Tesla lies. But please, keep spreading it on your TED conference over a total of 59 million people.
The time when someone will be able to buy one of your cars and literally just take their hands off the wheel and go to sleep and wake up and find that they've arrived. How far away is that to do that safely?
I think that's about 2 years.
But this is just a literal sales pitch on TED. It is also a lie, because we're now 9 years later, 2025, and the latest development of Tesla's self-driving is that Elon lied about the hardware capabilities for the past 9 years. Someone who tested it in China got 7 fines in one night.
自行车道，自行车道，不要，大哥，这是自行车道。他没有发现吗？别把自行车道当成右转线。
And that Elon is misrepresenting data about self-driving being almost here, even though it's actually still at least years away. It can't even safely drive around in one city in 2025. Now imagine cross-country 8 years ago.
November or December of this year, all the way from a parking lot in California to a parking lot in New York, no controls touched at any point during the entire journey.
Even their recent video of all Tesla cars driving themselves off of the production line was debunked, because in this drone shot you can clearly see they're being driven by people. And don't even get me started on his claims regarding the Boring Company he made during that TED Talk.
An elevator, sort of a car skate that's on an elevator. We're designing this to be able to operate at 200 kilometers an hour, or about 130 miles per hour. Genuinely insane, right?
But the worst of all is that I fell for this one. When I first saw this video 8 years ago, I was in awe and genuinely felt inspired by what I believed was an actual genius trying to help society because of the blind trust I put in the integrity of the TED conference. I mean, my English teacher told me I could trust them, and she doesn't have a shitty English accent like me, so who was I to question her? That weren't just companies abusing TED for financial gain. Remember this TED Talk from now legendary psychologist Amy Cuddy about her published study of how just a few minutes a day of power posing like a superhero in a mirror won't just make you look incredibly stupid, but could also increase confidence in your chances at success in life?
We decided to bring people into the lab, and these people adopted for 2 minutes either high power poses or low power poses. This one has been dubbed the Wonder Woman by the media. High power people experience about a 20% increase, and low power people experience about a 10% decrease.
Which sounds pretty cool and logical at face value, but doesn't really hold up in reality. Because out of 40 similar studies done, none could achieve the results Amy Cuddy had in hers. And co-author of Amy's study, Dana Carney, admitted that she believes their research was incredibly flawed, and then disavowed her beliefs in their results. That power posing actually does anything at all. But all of that doesn't matter because Amy's TED Talk got 100 million views, making it one of the most viewed TED Talks ever, which she could then piggyback off of that virality by writing a New York bestseller on it and asking $50,001 to $75,000 speaking fees. What? Was $50,000 too cheap for you? But hey, at least Amy Cuddy is now a multi-millionaire, and there is nothing more inspiring than a rich person who achieved their wealth on the basis of a very flawed study. In 2013, you had Jeffrey Epstein's partner and pedophile sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell sharing her vision for a better future for the oceans through her non-profit Terramar.
I founded the Terramar Project. It addresses many of these important issues. Terramar citizens have an education platform, a daily online newspaper.
And then in 2014, you had Jeffrey Epstein's partner and pedophile sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell sharing her vision for a better future for the oceans through her non-profit Terramar. Man, she cares so much about the sea. I wonder why. I actually looked into the Terramar non-profit, and as far as I know, they accomplished literally nothing except for giving Ghislaine Maxwell a higher societal status, so good job, Ted. Sure, on one side you did sometimes have genuine speakers like Monica Lewinsky sharing her story of how she worked through a decade of traumatizing public scrutiny after being taken advantage of in a very uneven power dynamic as White House intern at the age of 22 by having an affair with the 49-year-old US president at the time who was peculiarly skilled at playing the saxophone.
I'm probably the only person over 40 who does not want to be 22 again. Can I see a show of hands of anyone here who didn't make a mistake or do something they regretted at 22? Yep, that's what I thought. Not a day goes by that I'm not reminded of my mistake. And I regret that mistake deeply.
I would be hysterically crying and then I would just shut down. And in the shutdown period, I remember looking out the window and thinking that the only way to fix this was to kill myself, was to jump out the window. I felt terrible. I was scared and...
But then on the other side, you had Ted invite the 42nd president of the United States, Bill Clinton, famous for his skills at playing the saxophone and cheating on his wife at age 49 by taking advantage of a 22-year-old White House intern who then got her life ruined by public scrutiny. Wait, what? And they gave him $100,000? Oh, but maybe he really needed it. His net worth already is $60 million? Oh, what's he gonna do with another $100K? Buy more young hookers to cheat on his wife with? Cause there was someone else who would give a TED Talk on that. The amount of shitty people who have not just been given a platform through TED, but ended up being their most popular speakers is astounding to say the least. Which they could then capitalize on by using that credibility their TED Talk gave them. That's why Ghislaine Maxwell got to do her Terramar speech once more on, I don't know, the United Nations Conference?
I'm here representing civil society.
What I'm trying to make is that even though the majority of people, including me at first, would have said Ted's true purpose only died over the past few years as it diluted into nothing more than crypto bros and opportunists giving empty motivational speeches as if their lives depended on it, Ted's integrity had already been thrown in the gutter by conniving exploiters long before that. Difference being that at least they were better at hiding it.
Really fantastic. That was really fantastic.
Nonetheless, even so, if you've in any way, shape or form taken motivation, inspiration or betterment out of a TED Talk, even if in retrospect it turned out to be a shitty one, well, then they still can't take that away from you. Unlike with TEDx Talks, there almost all of it's bad.
So, swag.
That's why I'm going to one in this video. See, unlike TED, where you at least needed some minimal sort of credibility or certification to be a speaker, and tickets cost $12,500? Gee, I wonder what the topics are going to be. AI, 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 AI. TEDx is the independent arm of TED, created in 2009, which could be organized by almost anyone, and anyone could be speakers, so that the average peasants like you or me could also afford to attend or abuse a platform. So now instead of a rich person telling us how their non-existent products will save the world, you had like just some guy expressing why Bono from U2 is his personal Jesus?
For me, it has always been one man. One lone voice out there in the wilderness guiding me through good times and through bad. It has always been this man.
Keep it going one more time,
Or like an 8-minute talk about how my grandma has swag.
Excuse me, did you say swag?
Yeah, I already knew that. Isn't that right, Gran?
Shut up, you little punk-ass bitch.
Gonna be putting her in a nursing home real soon. Or this dude, literally using it as a sales pitch for his coffee maker. There is a 6-minute TED Talk of someone literally talking about nothing.
I have absolutely nothing to say whatsoever.
As to showcase how you can make anything sound inspirational and deep in a TEDx talk.
Like maybe, just maybe, I'm building to some sort of satisfying conclusion. I mean, I'm gesticulating as though I am. I'm pacing, I'm growing in intensity, I'm taking off my glasses, which by the way are just frames.
This is also, unironically, the best TEDx talk I've ever seen.
I'm an itty-bitty baby bopper, and I'm hungry in my tum-tum.
So, can't wait to attend the TEDx talk myself. On my way to what I anticipated would be the most educational 4.5 hours of my life.
Wait, 4.5 hours long? Oh man.
It kind of hit me just how depressing the fact that in a world where seemingly everything has to be transactional, we couldn't even have this one simple conference where people who already have an upper hand in the game of life can share their wisdom with the ones who don't. And that's a pretty cynical thought to live with. But then I realized that there is a very simple and hopeful solution to easily step away from this ever more depressing thought process. You just gotta...
You ready to go inside?
Huh? One second, I'm thinking of... Never mind, lost it. Yeah, let's go.
Wow, this is actually pretty cool. This room is amazing. Just look at that guy, and now look at that one. I can't let this impress me. If these TED Talks turn out to be decent, I'm gonna look like an idiot.
It's so beautiful in here.
It's alright. It's alright.
As the TEDx conference started, my expectations started optimistically rising. Are these actually gonna be good? No, they were not. There was an actual giant sitting in front of me, so I couldn't see shit. The first talk was about like cellular 5G, and the speaker didn't even make a joke about how it would brainwash me into a different sexual orientation. Come on, dude, you've gotta make that joke. The G literally stands for gay. And you don't want to know what the 5 stands for. The second TEDx talk was slightly more interesting, about a non-profit helping out struggling students. And the third one I can only describe with this specific visual. What am I doing here? And then by 8:30, about 2 hours in, my girlfriend and I had to catch our last train if we ever wanted to make it back home.
And what did you think of the TEDx talks? Yeah, it's about right.
I do want to say I respect the speakers at a TEDx talk for having the courage to perform on stage, but at this point the integrity and core values of the brand have been so tarnished that I feel like it wouldn't really have mattered how the TEDx conference went. It wouldn't have made me change my mind about TED in general, because the brand really is dead to me as it is to most other people. I guess that's why they're now selling the entire thing for someone else to revive, which I hope it doesn't, because honestly, it would probably end the same way, and why would I ever want to spend more time listening to society's elite patting themselves on their backs? That's not inspiring. I get my motivation from the people close to me. And that's when I realized that the real TED Talks are the friends we make along the way.
Dat figuranten en films. Als figuranten en films zo gebrabbel moeten nadoen, dat ze gewoon altijd hetzelfde woord bij hebben herhalen.
Rabble.
Denk het.